Tomorrow night in Seattle, a football match will kick off at 11 o'clock. 90 minutes, one ball, 11 players on each side, a group stage decider with a place in the knockout rounds at stake. But nobody, not FIFA, not the two federations involved, not the city of Seattle, and not the millions of people watching around the world, is talking only about the football. Because what is about to happen at Lumen Field on June 26th has become one of the most charged, most complicated, and most human stories this World Cup has ever produced. And it was set in motion long before a single player had even boarded a flight to North America. Stay with us, because this story touches something deeper than tactics, deeper than group standings, deeper than any scoreline, and it deserves to be told with the care and honesty it requires. Let's go back to where it began. Months before the World Cup draw took place, the city of Seattle made a decision. Its local organizing committee, the group responsible for building the World Cup experience in the city, designated one specific match date as something special. June 26th, they announced, would be the Pride match, a celebration timed deliberately to coincide with Seattle's annual Pride Weekend, one of the largest civic gatherings in the American Pacific Northwest, regularly drawing more than 200,000 participants into the streets of a city that has made inclusion one of its most visible values. The plans were detailed: a dedicated website page, LGBTQ+ activations around the stadium, an atmosphere designed to send a message about what Seattle stands for and who the city wanted to welcome into its arms during the greatest sporting event on Earth. What Seattle could not control, of course, was which teams FIFA's draw would place in that slot. And when the draw took place in Washington, D.C. last December, the ball landed, with the particular indifference that only chance can produce, on Iran and Egypt. Two nations, one match, and a collision of values so profound that it has taken months to fully unfold, and which reaches its flashpoint tomorrow night. Because in Iran, same-sex relationships are not merely disapproved of, they are punishable by death. In Egypt, morality laws allow for the de facto criminalization of same-sex partnerships, and human rights organizations have documented years of arrests, police harassment, and persecution of suspected gay people. For both nations, the designation of their most important group game, a match with World Cup progression on the line, as a celebration of LGBTQ+ identity, was not simply uncomfortable. It was, from the perspective of their football federations, entirely unacceptable. Both made their positions known immediately and formally. Egypt's Football Association wrote directly to FIFA, stating in plain and unambiguous language that it categorically rejects any activities related to supporting homosexuality during the match, and calling on FIFA to take action to avoid including activities that could provoke cultural and religious sensitivities among fans at the game. And Iran's Football Federation, already engaged in an ongoing dispute with FIFA over travel restrictions that head coach Carlos Queiroz had publicly described as treating his team as the most oppressed at the entire tournament, went further still. The Football Federation of the Islamic Republic of Iran, in its formal communication to FIFA, demanded the prevention of any ceremony or promotional activity during the Pride match. Its president, Mehdi Taj, speaking on Iranian state television, described the situation as unreasonable and illogical. Iran's sports minister, Ahmad Donyamali, separately confirmed that Iran had lodged a direct complaint with FIFA over the matter.
In a statement that left no room for ambiguity, the federation declared, "The Football Federation of the Islamic Republic of Iran takes this matter very seriously and has clearly conveyed its position to FIFA." FIFA listened, and then FIFA refused. The world governing body confirmed this week that rainbow flags and all other symbols representing sexual orientation and gender identity are explicitly permitted under the FIFA World Cup 2026 Stadium Code of Conduct. Fans may display them inside the stadium, FIFA stated, provided they are used in a manner consistent with the code. The organization reminded both federations and the world that the 2026 World Cup is an inclusive event that welcomes people from all backgrounds and that fans of all sexual orientations and gender identities are welcome at matches and events. FIFA President Gianni Infantino did make one concession of language. Speaking to a Swiss outlet, he was careful to distance the organization from the Pride Match label itself. "I must clarify," he said, "that there will be no Pride match at the FIFA World Cup. There will be a FIFA World Cup match in Seattle, and on the same day, events organized by external organizations will be taking place in the city. But that has nothing to do with the match itself." It was a careful, measured statement, an attempt to hold the line between institutional neutrality and practical reality. But the reality of what is happening tomorrow night in Seattle goes far beyond the careful wording of any official communication. Because here is what is actually unfolding. Inside Lumen Field, rainbow flags will be present. Seattle's senior vice president of World Cup legacy, Hedda McClendon, said it plainly. "We anticipate a lot of rainbow flags in the stadium and T-shirts with rainbow flags on them. Let's welcome people to Seattle. It's the World Cup, and let's show them how we pride." Outside the stadium, Seattle's mayor, Katie Wilson, has confirmed that designated protest zones have been established in the surrounding area. Her words were direct. "We are very much expecting and prepared for protest activity. Law enforcement," she said, "is prepared." In that same city, local figures have reached for the biggest frames of reference they know to describe what they believe this moment means. John Cairns, manager of a local LGBTQ+ venue, drew a line from tomorrow night all the way back to Jesse Owens winning 4 gold medals at the 1936 Berlin Olympics and to Tommy Smith and John Carlos raising their fists on the Olympic podium in 1968. Only international sport, he said, could reach that big an audience. Others have spoken of the match as a rare and precious opportunity, a moment for members of the LGBTQ+ community from countries where their identity is criminalized to experience something they cannot experience at home. And gay rights campaigner Peter Tochel has written directly to Infantino, urging the suspension of 11 national teams, including both Iran and Egypt, on the grounds that discrimination based on sexual orientation violates FIFA's own rules. As of today, FIFA has not responded to that letter.
Now, hold all of this together for a moment, because the full weight of what is happening tomorrow night is genuinely extraordinary. On one side of this story, 26 Iranian players who have spent this entire tournament navigating a travel schedule unlike any other teams, who played their opener against New Zealand coming back from 2 goals down, who have been praised by neutral observers for their resilience and tactical discipline, and who carry the dreams of millions of people back home onto the pitch every time they play. For those players and their supporters, football has always been the one space where Iran stands equal to the world. On another side, the people of Seattle, who planned this celebration months before they knew which teams would be involved. People for whom Pride Weekend represents something deeply personal, something that touches the lives of friends, family members, and community members in ways that football can barely begin to comprehend. And somewhere in the middle, FIFA, an organization that has spent years navigating exactly these kinds of collisions between the universal language of football and the very different worlds in which that language is spoken. An organization that banned the One Love armband in Qatar 2022 and faced fierce criticism for prioritizing diplomatic comfort over human rights. an organization that this week, to the surprise of many who expected it to back down, held its position and told two federations, no, the flags will fly. Washington State Senator Jamie Peterson offered perhaps the clearest articulation of what that means for the community hosting this match. If you tried to import a pride celebration into Egypt or Iran, he said, obviously that could be a disaster. But in a community like Seattle that prides itself on welcoming people from all over, he added, he simply couldn't imagine it becoming a significant problem. Whether he is right will become clear tomorrow night. What is already clear is this: no match at this World Cup, perhaps no match in many World Cups, has carried quite this weight into the 90 minutes. Iran need a result to advance. Egypt need a result to advance. The football stakes alone would make this a match worth watching. But the eyes on Lumen Field tomorrow will not all be watching for a goal or a save or a moment of individual brilliance. They will be watching for something much harder to define and much harder to forget. In the words of one Seattle resident, Ryan Webster, this is a moment to allow members of the LGBTQ+ community from those countries the opportunity to celebrate themselves in totality that they might not have otherwise. And tomorrow night, inside a football stadium in the Pacific Northwest of America, those two things, the football and everything that surrounds it, will share a pitch for 90 minutes. The world will be watching. All of it.